So hi guys, Legacy at Sea is a historical fiction game about the golden age of piracy. We're actually going to play 3 years, 1716 to 1718, and the story deck is the timing mechanism in the game. The game will end sometime in 1718. So you're going to play a historical captain, and they have different starting preferences, items, and you can choose to play one of 4 pirate ships. So there's the brigantine, the schooner, the bark, I don't know if the glare is going to get you here, but and the sloop. So the sloop being very maneuverable but not having a ton of storage, versus the bark, which is not very maneuverable and it has a lot of storage and gun ports. Once you select your captain and your ship, so for example, Charles Vane starts out with ferocity, so he has that skill, so that whenever he plunders, he's going to add a dice to the plunder when we get to how you do that. Your ship itself, you'll have crew, you'll have cannon, maneuverability. The crew can be kept on deck to board other ships, or it can be kept up on the sails or moved to the sails to increase your maneuverability. So the way you play is the first player is going to be the captain with the lowest number. Although it also has a solo mode, so you can play it as an individual. So during your turn, you're going to move. You can move 0 to 2 spaces. If you move 2 spaces, you do have to spend a food to go that extra distance. So generally, you're moving 1. And then you end your turn in a sail space. You're going to select a target, a merchant ship to target, and that'll be based on a number of things: the nationality of the ship and what it has on it and its defenses. And before you plunder, though, you have to draw an encounter card, and these are some of the random events that would happen at sea, like storms or warships. And actually, I have no idea what this one is because we just shuffled it. And it's a warship. So you would roll the dice to rectify whether you escape or take some damage. And then after that, you're going to take this card and put it here, and it will count towards experience. And so you're able to cash in cards for experience by moving them over here, indicating that you've used them. And if one card will get you any skill on the first level, you cash in 2 cards to get move things up to the second level, and so on. So there's some decisions in terms of when you cash those in. So then we go back to the merchant ship that you chose, and the way plunder works is that you're going to choose to do cannon versus cannon, crew versus crew, or maneuverability versus maneuverability. So in this case, Charles Vane may do cannon versus cannon. So he has 2 cannon on board, which means he's going to take 2 plundering die, 1 for each cannon. Additionally, his skill, which I realize I put this on the wrong side, of course, his skill adds another die anytime he plunders, his ferocity. And then you always roll the red fate die, which can cause damage or do various things. So his objective is to get more Jolly Roger flags or successes than on the ship. So let's see what happens. He rolls 3 successes, so he will plunder this ship because it's 1 greater than the 2. The fate die means that he takes 1 damage for every cannon on board this ship. So he would take 2 damage. We'd roll the 8-sided die. Of course, the camera's going to have to go all the way down here to 1. and the first 2 damage that he takes goes to the sails. So we would take these, I had some here. So you take the damage tokens and his sails would get damaged. And then he takes the plunder on board. So it'd be 3 coin and a crew would get added to the ship. And then this would go here. And again, if you were saving it up, you could cash these in, move them over here, and increase this up so he now rolls 2 additional dice every time he plunders. Play would pass to the next player. The merchant ships get refilled. If that player sails to a sail space, we repeat the same process. After each player takes a turn, we flip the story card and advance the story. And all these events in the story deck are historical. So there's a thing about Port Royal. There's Robert Johnson's daughter who got kidnapped, and if you find her, there's a nice reward. And because you don't go through, let me back up on this. So we're in 1716, so the ocean deck's labeled 1716, and the encounter deck's labeled 1716. When this makes it to 1717, we swap out these decks, and as you progress, there's more pirate hunters, more warships as the European nations get fed up with you. On the side, I had prospect cards, and we put cubes out to mark where those prospects are. And as you get to, so there's a prospect at I. So if this ship lands there, they actually take the prospect card. They don't get the victory points or the reward until they do the second step of that. But it does create a bit of a race if there's a prospect that more than one pirate is interested in to get that and claim that card. And that'll give you victory points. And then also, when you sail into port and end your turn at port, you can take any number of you can take the port actions. So there's things you can buy and sell. If you have animosity, which would be these flags. So if you landed at a British port, you would need to bribe the British, and it costs you 1 gold per victory point of that nation. So in this case, I'd pay 4 victory points to land at Charleston, for example, because it's controlled by the English. You can repair damage, buy or sell goods, hire crew, purchase cannon, and there's 6-pound cannons and 10 or 12-pound cannons. 12-pound cannons count as 2 cannons in 1 space. Then the other thing that's happening throughout all of this is that various cards will change who controls various ports. So you might see a port become pirate friendly or turn into a Spanish port, or so on. English, whatever. And then also the values of items may change. So if this token is on Port Royal, they will pay 2 gold additional for each supply you're selling at that port. As soon as someone does that, this goes away because the demand has been met. So again, another bit of a race maybe between a couple of pirates to get here and sell their stuff. But you're not going to win this game by just doing merchant stuff. The points are really in the plundering, because it's about your legacy as a pirate. And so the last thing you can do at port, I forgot to mention, is you can gamble. So you can wager up to 10 gold and one time in port and choose to gamble. Most people are afraid. They see that lose all your gold and no way. At the end of the game, we're going to cash in all of your goods and count up your gold, and every 5 gold is worth 1 victory point. We're going to look at the victory points on the ships you've plundered and the victory points on the prospects you've completed, and whoever has the highest victory points at the end of the game wins. And then the last little tidbit is the end game trigger. Everyone rolls an 8-sided die to determine their fate, to see if they were hanged or retired to the Americas or died in battle. It has no impact on the scoring because that would just be horrible, but it just sort of finishes the story. It's most likely it will not end well for you because it didn't end well for most of those pirates. And I think that's most of. There's a few other things in here, but that's the guts of it.
This is, you said, getting ready to launch on Kickstarter, or it already has?
It's currently on Kickstarter and it has funded. So it has, I think, about 20 days left to go. And we have met a few stretch goals, so there'll be a linen finished box, a linen finished game board. The next goal is linen finished cards, and then the one beyond that is these mats will become boards instead. And then beyond that, it's secret at this point in time.
Thanks for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, click that like and subscribe button. You can also follow us on social media like Facebook
and Twitter at DadVDaughter.
And if you like what we do and you want to support us, you can visit our Patreon page. So thanks for watching.
Thanks.